Hi guys, Andy Wiles here from the Apprenticeship team, looking to catch up with you and just give you a bit of an update on resourcing for apprenticeship job roles. Hopefully you're all enjoying the benefits of Rishi Sunak's extension to the bonus, and we're looking forward to supporting you with continuing to grow and develop those apprenticeship conversations. That being said, we've had some feedback around some concerns or maybe some lack of understanding around what we need to be asking in order to recruit and resource effectively for apprenticeship job roles. And I just wanted to send a video with a couple of minutes telling you a bit more about the kind of do's and don'ts, things to look out for when it comes to resourcing for an apprenticeship job position. As you know, apprenticeships are enjoyably fraught with regulation and rules that we need to adhere to from a government funding perspective. And these are just a few things that you need to bear in mind when it comes to qualifying and questioning for candidates before you put them into those job interviews and go about getting them placed within organisations. Firstly, the biggest thing here is making sure that a candidate is eligible for funding based upon their residency status. I mean, what does that mean? Effectively, an individual needs to be either a resident of the UK or an EU EEA national for the past 3 years in order to be eligible to be funded on an apprenticeship programme. Now you might think, well, if somebody's a great British national, that's not going to be a problem. They're a UK passport holder, so that's not going to cause me any dramas. However, if that individual has then been living in the US or Japan or another country outside of the EEA and EU for the past 3 years and working during that time, that would actually mean that they're not eligible to be funded for the apprenticeship programme. So it's really important when you're speaking to your candidates and you're qualifying them to make sure they're right for the apprenticeship and eligible for the apprenticeship. We're asking the question, whereabouts have you been living for the past 3 years in terms of the countries where you've been living? And if it's a country that falls outside of the UK, does it fall within the EU or the EEA? And if you don't know which countries that are, get onto Google and find out. And if the answer to those is no, the likelihood is that candidate is not going to be eligible for the apprenticeship. If an individual tells you that they've been living overseas because they've been studying, so you've got a British national who's maybe been and spent a year in America as part of their university degree, that can constitute eligibility, but it's worth asking the question or raising the question with a member of the apprenticeship team to qualify. So that's the first thing to kind of be aware of. The second thing is if you're dealing in language-based roles and individuals who are maybe from outside of the UK and speak languages, it's really important to position with them that as part of their apprenticeship programme, they will be completing studies in maths and English. It's a non-negotiable. It's something that businesses have driven to try and improve maths and English comprehension in the workplace. And it's something that we'll share more detail on with them. But we need to ensure again that we haven't got candidates who are maybe feeling resistant towards this or reluctant towards this because it is a non-negotiable for the government. It's a red line situation. So it's really critical that individuals are understanding and on board with that. The final thing is this: if you're dealing with an individual who is potentially in study at the moment, so maybe it's somebody who's completing the final piece of their masters or they're in the process of doing a further qualification in another area, we need to understand if and how that individual is being funded for that programme. So if they're being funded by a student loan or another government funding source, again, that person wouldn't be eligible for the apprenticeship just simply based upon the fact that you can't be funded for 2 government programmes at the same time. So it's really important to ask the question at this stage, is there anything else that you're currently working towards or studying for with regards to qualifications? And if the answer is yes, how is that being funded? If they're funding it themselves or it's being funded through non-governmental means, then that would be fine. But we need to know that information because, again, it's a red line for the government. So hopefully that's useful for you guys and it gives you some additional things to consider. I'm going to be sending out an email to everybody with a few prompt questions to think about that you should be asking into your resourcing conversations and qualification conversations. My advice would be everything to be tracked. And if you've got anything that comes up that you're not sure about or you're needing more clarity around, then just ask a member of the apprenticeship team and we'll be happy to help. But what we want to try and avoid is being in a situation where we've got clients, candidates or anybody else in a position further down the road than we want to be when we're unable to support them or help them due to a situation around eligibility. Thanks for your time. Hopefully this video has been useful for you and good luck. Keep selling.